This might be your kid's new favorite homemade deli sandwich. Well, at least it has my kids saying things like,
Dad, that looks scrumptious. Can I have it? Or can I at least be the test biter?
and here's how you make it. Like all great sandwiches, we're gonna need a sauce. And for this one, I decided to do a spicy mayo. Now, full transparency, I wanted to do a chipotle mayo, but the grocery store was out of those little cans of chipotles and adobo sauce, so I went with a gochujang instead. And gochujang is similar to sriracha if you need a substitute. Now, all the ingredients are in the caption, and the reason I make this before I get to the chicken is because I want these flavors to sit together in the fridge for as long as possible. Once your sauce is in the fridge, then we're gonna butterfly and have your chicken. And pro tip here, do this with the rough side of your chicken facing up. This way, you'll know the proper depth to run your blade to avoid putting holes in your chicken. Once you're done having your chicken, then we're gonna heavily season it with Cajun seasoning. And I'm using the rest of a store-bought brand here to get rid of it, but in the caption there's ingredients for a homemade version if you need to make your own. Then to cook these, we're gonna add avocado oil to a pan that's been preheated over medium heat before getting our chicken in. And since we butterflied and halved these are gonna cook a little bit quicker. I like to flip these every 2 minutes for a total of 8 minutes to get me to an internal temperature of right around 160 degrees. Then while they rest, they'll finish cooking by reaching an internal temperature of 165 degrees. And while they're resting, you're gonna get them covered with the juice of 1 whole lemon and a little bit of salt. Once your chicken has cooled down, then we're gonna start slicing them by finding the grain, separating them in half, and then slicing them as thinly as possible against the grain. But don't follow my knife safety tips. I should definitely be slicing away from my fingers when I do this. But when it's all said and done, you should be left with beautifully thin strips of chicken that easily pull apart with a little bit of tension. And the juice that was created while these were resting, that's what you want to store your chicken in. There is a ton of flavor in here that you don't want to lose. Now ultimately, sandwich assembly is up to you, but here's how I made these. I used Italian bread and lathered on some of the sauce on the bottom piece of bread. Then I stacked a double layer of the chicken before topping it with some sliced tomatoes. And take your sandwich up a level by hitting your tomatoes with some salt and pepper. Then the sandwich got some sliced avocado and romaine lettuce before finishing our sandwich with some more of the sauce on the top piece of bread. And now this is what my kids tell me they want in their school lunches. So lucky me.